So in the previous class, we went through the layout of the calculator app. This is the second part of it. If you have not watched the first part, I'll add it into the top of the, in the same window you could see somewhere, like the first part is linked. Okay, so what all we did, this is the thing which we have built in the previous lesson. If you press 1, it will press 3, 4. Similarly, you will press, we have implemented till 1 to 9, correct? And even 0. This is what we did in the previous lesson. But if you look into the calculator doesn't work like this. You press 1 and then 2, it should become 12, correct? So before actually getting into the programming part of it, I wanted you to assume how we would be doing the calculation first. So the first part I told, like, we would be, when you press 1 and then 2, it should become 12, correct? Then we should have something. This is the result label we are updating with the string tag. But this doesn't seems like a scenario, because we need to append, say, like if we press 1 and then I press 2, so I want to append not the result label, but I want something which will be something called result text. Okay, or let's see, the property name only will give. So what I need is the number on screen. Okay, so basically I need to calculate this. This initially assume it is 0, but when I press 1 and 2, it should become 12, correct? This is the first property I need. Now assume if you want to add two numbers. So what you would be doing, 1, 2, and these are the operations which you want to perform. So assume if I press plus, I hope this is visible. In your project, you can actually increase the font, or let me quickly do it. I'll increase the font, it won't take much time. So let me give somewhere 24, 26. Okay, we'll give it for the rest of the things. I thought there has to be a selection and have to end up selecting one at a time. Okay, we are good. So what I told you, like, we need one property which will store the number on screen. We know it is not just what we are pressing it. If I press 1 and 2, my number of on the screen, I should calculate and make it 12. Okay, this is the first thing. If I want to perform a add operation, then second part, what I want is what operation I want to perform. Okay, so let me run it quickly again, because this is like a add where, like, you have seen where, like, they wanted to add a salt in the, they're preparing a recipe where he wanted to add a salt, but he has one sample already outside and he kept on. For us also it was happening. I realized the buttons are still small. So okay, so where were we? This is the first part. Now the second part, what type of operation you are performing. In case of addition, you will click on this. So my code should know this is the operation you wanted to perform. Okay, so I'll say number on the screen, and the second part I need operation, correct, which will say what type of operation it is. So assume it is plus, minus, divide, or multiply, some type of operation. It will say what you want to perform. This can be a number. Say assume I wanted to add 12. This is what I want to perform. Okay, 12 plus 12. Now the third thing what I need is, once you click on 1 and then you click on plus. Okay, then you again click on 1. So number on the screen will become again. So you, instead of this, let's take different so it will be easy to understand. I press 12 and then I told press plus, and then I tried clicking 16 on the screen. So what happened is number on the screen is now what? 16. Where should go the 12 digit which we have pressed already? So for that, let me add one more thing. So it will become like I will have previous number. Okay, so let's implement the first part where we will say 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of basically changing this, it should actually form a continuation of a 1, 2, 3. So it should be 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do that. So I'll hide this part for a while. Okay, so let's come to the class and we have a bigger area. Let me select this so it will become more readable. Okay, so this is what we did. I will take this and put it somewhere out just for our reference. Okay, and now I have come to the number pressed. So what we did here, we tried to get the tag from the button. Okay, and tag -1 was the actual value and we printed it here. Okay, which should not be the case, where what we should do is okay, so let me just should have. Okay, so how I would be calculating now, basically my result label text should not be this, but what it should be the text. If my result label dot text, whatever it is, okay, plus this. Okay, let's see how it gets that the information. And initially what we do is we have some information. I will say my result label dot text is equal to, I'll keep empty text. Okay, and maybe what we can do is I'll go here, I'll select the storyboard. Okay, and I'll give this label, instead of text I'll give a placeholder should be there. Okay, it's not. Okay, fine. So what we are doing is, let's see if we are able to do the first part of it. Okay, I was looking for a placeholder. I think you can set. Okay, this is how it is. I press 1, now 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the first part is done. Where like if I press on a number, my number is correctly coming on the screen. But our thing was what I wanted to implement 1, 2. This is what we wanted, plus 1, 6, plus. Now if I press on plus, nothing is happening because we have not implemented it here. So, okay, so the question is what this line is doing. So basically, I click on a number. So every time when I click on any number, this method is getting called. So I have put a breakpoint. I'll show you like how we can do this. I have covered the breakpoints, how to use breakpoints in my previous lesson. You can go through the series, you will get. Okay, so when I press 1, okay, so here I will get the tag is 2. So this thing will calculate 1 and it will say anything already there on the result label.text. So where I will show you how to use a console. So I will say PO for printing. I'll say results label dot text. Since text is optional, I will force unwrap, and I could see the text is already there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so what this line will do? This line will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. you add concatenate the string that we covered in the previous lesson, where we spoke about how the operations, basic operations are there. Okay, this video also you can find in the same panel somewhere. Okay, and what it is doing, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and it will add 1 into it. So the resultant string will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 1. So let's see here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 1. Clear? So let's implement the other part, where like we wanted to save this information in the our, let's create our properties. We spoke here, these are the things we need, correct? So let's start creating our properties here. So what we want is, the first one, we want variable, I want number on screen. So this has to be a double, and which I will initialize with 0. Okay, the second I will say, we spoke about, we want a previous number if we want to, which is again of type double. This also I will initialize with 0. Okay, the third thing I want is my operation, which is again equal to 0. Okay, these are the three things I want. Now we have not made any connection of these buttons in the code, correct? This is what we want to do. So if I click on this, we'll click on this, something should happen, correct? That is not implemented. So for that, let me open the storyboard and try to make another connection, like how we have number pressed. I will say you have a operator pressed. Okay, let me go here and open the recent file, which is, okay, my bad, my storyboard. Okay, so what I wanted to do now is I wanted to create another connection so that when I press this, my result label should show this. Okay, so let me do this. I will say this guy, and here you have option to create outlet and action. We want action, and I will say operator pressed. Fine. So now here, you remember from the previous class what we did? We added tags for these. Okay, so if I wanted to see the tag for this, okay, this is 0. Okay, so I think we skipped adding tags for these values, so we will do that. Okay, so what we did, from 0 to 10 we have added till here. Okay, let me do it 11 12 13 14. So I will start from here. I will give 11 for division, 12 13 and
one question here, do we have to always use the number for giving a tag, or we can use any alphabets or anything also we can use it?
Here tag is an integer property, so you will end up giving this thing, but there are additional things with the label where you can actually differentiate between string labels with the string value. Okay, but when we are using tag is actually an int. How we can see that when I am calculating here, sender tag is an int value because we are doing integer operation on that, tag -1. So what we did, we gave tag from here to all this. And now let me have a connection as well. These things, and for this tutorial, what we would be implementing, the basic operations equal to, and this clearing the clearing operation. Okay, so I gave till equal to, we have the tag 15. I will give, this is the clear button, I'll give 16. So we have not implemented these. This is a kind of a task for you guys to actually work on it and give me, like, this is very minimal stuff, which is like you want to add a double value, 12.3 minus 12.4. Okay, this is the homework for you guys, but for this tutorial we'll be implementing 12 plus 14, 12 divided by, like, the basic operations on the calculator. So let me have a connection, all the connections I will control. I will drag to my coding class, and here you can have this. Okay, I will show you the other way of doing it. If you don't have this sidewise, we have added the connection for this and this. We will do it differently for these buttons. Okay, so let me do one thing, hide this from here and get this menu. Okay, so what we have done is this button we wanted to add. So if I control and drag to view controller should actually, okay, let me have a selection. I will quit the app. Okay, if I, okay, this is the issue because it is showing me the selection on the different screen, which I think if I reduce the size of this, it will have. So if I right click on this, okay, finally I got the window on the right place. So you could see here I have a result label. Okay, and these are the outlets. What we have added is actions. Okay, we have number pressed where we have all these attached, and we have operator pressed, and we have only X and division is added to the correct. You could see the selection when I do that, and we are left with this. How we can do that? I will basically again control and drag to your view controller, and you will have a operator pressed action. Okay, this is the other way of doing it. I will select this, drag it, and you have okay, my bad, we have operator pressed, good to go. Okay, view controller, my operator pressed, and the last action will add, and we are done. Okay, operator pressed. Okay, so now in a code, whenever you press any button on the screen, what should happen? If you press anything now plus, you will get interaction here. Like, okay, something you have pressed. So let us implement the very first part where like we have seen this. If we press 1, 2, 3, 4, it is coming correctly on the screen. Now let us implement this part. When I click on this, it will clear all the information. Okay, how I can do that? Now we have implemented here. Let me just get a tag. How we got the tag? So let me get the tag from the sender. My sender as UI button. Okay, and then I will access the tag property.
This should just find the application.
Thank you. Okay, so here what I will do, I'll get a tag. So my for layer button. Okay, my tag is basically, what's my tag? Tag is 16. Okay, this is what we gave. So I'll check if my tag is equal to 16. This we have discussed in the basic operator lesson, which was like last class. So you could see that. What I wanted to do here now. So my result label dot text, okay, should become empty, correct? And now the other things, what other properties we have? I don't have to save any previous number because I wanted to start the operation again. I will make it 0. Okay, and number on the screen, that is another variable we were maintaining, correct? That I'll make it 0. Okay, and what operation we are doing, since operation also has a tag, this is an operation tag basically, I'll make it 0. So we are not performing any operation. We might need one variable which will actually let us know if the operation is performed or not. So something like here we spoke about, another thing is something like is performing operation. Just in the code we should know like when we have started performing an operation, if we are performing an operation. Okay, so this is the implementation which we did. Let me quickly run the app and see. I hope you have done your coloring work. I showed you like how you can get the color and make it look nice. In the last part, we will cover how you can play around with the buttons and make it different shape and stuff. Okay, so now we have got this. What I wanted to do is I'll press 1. Okay, let me disable the breakpoints. This is how you disable the breakpoint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll press minus, plus, something I've pressed. Now I wanted to clear the operation. I'll click this, everything will go off. Okay, so this function, this is behaving correctly. Okay, now what we wanted to do is I will press 12 and then I'll say plus. So plus we should show what operation is performing. How we can do that? Let's do that part now. So for just to recall what all, so here we'll say operations like what we have: plus, we have minus, we have division, and we have multiply. So what we will do is or multiply, I'll keep it like this. So what we wanted to do, let's add for readability purpose, for implementation purpose, not for readability. Readability part will cover like how we can, instead of giving this tag, how we can make it more readable using enums and all that. That also we will look at later. Okay, for now we will go with the raw values, but making your code readable is a good practice. So let me directly go to here and figure out what all tags we have added. For this we added tag 11, correct? So for division we have 11. This is 11. For multiplication what we have is 12, and for subtraction we have 13, and we have 14 for this, and for equal to we have 15. Correct? So we are clear here what we are doing. So I can close this window and start implementing. So what we will do, we'll say if tag equal to 11. Okay, else if my tag equal to 12. So one more thing I wanted to show you here is, if my tag is 16, I actually doesn't want to perform any operation. So what I will do, I will just pass a return. So I'll say my control should return from here only, instead of doing further calculation. This we didn't do. So let me quickly add for the other. If tag equal to 13, else if tag equal to 14, else if tag equal to 15. Correct? We are good. So what we wanted to do is the plus operation. Oh my bad, it's not equal, double equal. Okay, I kept on doing the same mistake again. Okay, so now you wanted to do what we wanted to do. When I press plus, it should show me plus here. So how we can do that? I will say my result label dot text equal to, since I know this is for plus, I will show my plus sign here. Okay, but what will happen to the text which is there on the screen? Yes, so what I should do, my basically here what should happen is my previous number I should assign. Okay, I will say my previous number is equal to, okay, result label dot text. Okay, and since this text is optional, we should make these checks. This is homework for you guys, because we studied guard and guardlet and if let. So this is force unwrapping. We will remove it throughout the code. Okay, that is the homework again. This is the homework and implementing the other two buttons. This, and this. Implementation is for you guys. Okay. Now this is, but my previous number is what? Double. And this you will get a string value. So let me typecast it. I will say double. Okay. And I will force unwrap this. So now I have previous number saved. Okay. Let's see how my code will work now. Okay. If I say 12 and I'll say plus, nice. If I say 12 again, actually plus should go off. Now it should start from the 12 again. How we can do that? Now we got to know it is performing an operation. Let's see how we can implement this. So now what we wanted to do is, I told you what we need is, we need to know if the operation is getting performed. How we can do that? I told you, like, let's have a Boolean value now. So let me create var is performing operation is equal to false. Okay, I'll initialize with false. Now when I would be performing an operation, when I'll go to these methods. Okay, so when I have a tag 11, 12, 13, 14, so I'll say I am actually performing an operation. Okay, so I'll say here we'll optimize it later. Let's try to understand where and all we wanted to say, like, if is performing operation, yes, true. Okay, the same thing when it is 12, the same thing when it is 13, and same thing when it is 14. Okay, it is trying to perform an operation. Okay, uh, text, we are aware, like if it is here 11 is for divide operation, so we'll get to know if division is happening. I will go here and I'll say here you have my result label should be multiply, or we can show this, and here my result of label should be, okay, here my result label is 13 is equal to subtraction. Okay, clear. Now what we wanted to do, the another thing we did the previous number. Okay, the same thing we need to do before we actually reset the result label. We'll try to fetch the information. Clear? Okay, we did, and here, so let me show you. Okay, okay, it's already there. Okay, so what we did, we what operation we wanted to perform, let me we have written it on the top. Okay, say like 12 plus 16. So what is happening, 12 is saved in the previous value, but we are not saving number on the screen. Number on the screen, we are using it somewhere. Okay, we just initialize it to 0, but it should be calculated somewhere. Where it should be calculated? So come on to the calculator app. I will say reset. I will say 12. This is my, the moment I press plus, it has become a previous number, and number on the screen now is what? 12 or 4, 1, 2, 3, 123. So this should be saved somewhere. So let's go back here, number on the screen. Let's change the logic. So we'll check if is performing operation is basically my is performing operation is true. Okay, you will do something. Okay, if it is not performing operation, how we were doing this, we were doing anyways, correct? It will go to the else part. But now what we wanted to know, if you're performing operation, you have clicked on plus, my new number should be saved in the number on screen, correct? So let me add what is the logic which is required. So here my result table, result label, I'm calling it table, I don't know for what joy, dot text, again it should be tag -1. correct? Since it's a text I wanted to show, so it has to be typecast to string. Okay. And why we are doing tag -1? Because all the tags for the number we have given +1 addition to that, because 0 is the basic tag for all the buttons, and okay, tag we have not declared. So let me do where we declare tag. I'll just copy paste. So now we are writing a lot of code which should be optimized. We will do one lesson where we'll optimize all the part and we'll see. So right now I'm writing the raw part where and all we wanted to change, we'll do it. So here now, if you're performing an operation, when you click this, your result label text should be this, and your this thing is performing operation, because since you have pressed this, correct? Performing operation was the old task. So I'll clear. You did 12 and now you pressed plus. Now this method will get called again. I pressed 14. Okay. So now you are actually performing an operation and you did the calculation. So here what you will do, you will assign it to false. You will say the next time I am pressing number, don't get into this. Okay, so your result label you have done. Now I wanted to do is, what I told you is number on the screen. Okay, again what it would be, result label, whatever result label has a text. Okay, will change it to double, since we have clear till this point. What we are doing is, if you are performing operation, so 12, this becomes a previous number. I'll say plus, it says you are performing an operation, and the moment I press 12, it will say you were performing an operation. Okay, and you have done 12 plus 14 or 12 plus 12. You take the new text, convert it into double, and say number on the screen is this.
But here, where we are mentioning that it is don't show me the screen. We are checking whether it's an operation or not. But it still shows plus operation or not.
So plus it is showing, correct? Why it is showing? Because we were never clearing it. Now we are clearing it. The next time when you go inside, okay, we get the performing operation true. Now I'm actually, result label is updated with the number. Let's see, like where we reached with this implementation. Okay, still we have not implemented the equal part. We'll work on that, like how we can do that. So I'll say 12. Okay, plus. Now I wanted to add 14. Okay, so now what has happened is, it went into this, it appended it to 14. So if I press equal to now, I wanted to get here and check what all, I'll put a breakpoint and I'll press equal. My previous, okay, this is the previous number. Let's print what my previous number has value. It was 12, clear? Okay, let's do my number on the screen. It is 1. So this is somewhere wrong. Why it is 1? It should be basically 14, correct? So why it is 1? Let's go back and I'll delete this line because tag anyways we have here. So what happens is, when I press 1 here, it is going here and it says is not performing operation, and it updates the number on the screen. But in the else part, it doesn't do that. The else part also, we should be actually updating the number on the screen, because here we are changing this number on the screen, but we are not saving it here. So nothing, I will just copy and I'll paste it here in the else part as well. So now let's see where we reach now. Okay, here we are. I'll press 12. Okay, I press plus. Let me skip the breakpoint for a while. And 12 plus 15 this time we will do, and I'll press equal. I will try to check what my variables has correct value or not. Okay. Previous number is 12 and my number on the screen should be 15. Okay. So now I'm getting the correct value. We are clear. But what should happen when I press equal? It should actually add these numbers. So now see here, if I put the breakpoints, this is how I can actually iterate. Sometimes if we have done mistake, we'll understand. Now 13, 14 is the tag, correct? See if I go over and now if I click next, okay, it should have actually operation is 14. Okay. Okay. So let's see, let's implement. We have 15, 14 is plus. Why we didn't have control going in? Okay. Why we didn't have control going in? My bad. Because the tag is basically right now 15 because we pressed on equal. Okay. So let's implement this part. Okay. How we can do it here? If you have pressed addition, so how we will get? Now we have not done one more thing. In 15, we need to know we created this one more variable called operation. We're not using it. How it will become handy? Okay. So operation we are not updating. So operation when it will be updated if we have this. So when you press 11, I'll say operation. Just that I will assign a tag to it so that when you press equal, I know where exactly this should. The similar thing I require here. Similar thing I require here. Similar thing I require here. Correct. Now when you get into 15, so here the possibility can be you might have pressed equal, you might have pressed divide or plus or minus something. How we can check that? For that we have used a variable called operation which will save the tag. Okay, so let's do, if I'll say my tag is equal to 11. Okay, so we know here we have given correct 11 is for divide, 12, 13, 14 and 14 is for addition. So else if my tag can be 12. Okay, let me copy this part. Okay, then my tag can be 13 and my tag can be 14. Correct. These are the operation tags. Make you got to know 15 is not tag for operation. It is like equal thing you wanted. All the addition operations we have, these are the tags. Multiplication we have, these are the tags. 14 was the tag. So what should happen on 14? Okay, I told you what all we have. We got to know what operation is performed. Okay, we have number on the screen and previous number. Just we need to update this. So what I will do, I will say if this is the case, I will say my once result label dot text should be equal to previous number plus number on the screen. Clear? It's simple enough. Now what? Okay, let's go through there. What it is doing, because what we wanted to do, we have this as a string, but these values as a double. So no problem. We have done typecasting a number of times now. So let's do this. Okay, we have typecasted our value. Let's see what we get here. Okay, now let me disable the breakpoint so that it won't disturb us. I'll say 12 plus 15, it should be 27. If it doesn't come, we have done some mistake, we'll go through that. If I do, okay, now there is a problem. we are not getting it. Let's see what is the problem. Okay, how we can address the problem.
I think we have to give something from 18, right now. If you give plus, it will do the operation of the time.
Okay. So I'll show you the power of debugging now. So let's see, are we able to debug it correctly? While debugging, we'll see which part we have missed. I press 12, I press plus, and I press 15. Now when I click on equal to, let's see where our control goes. Okay, it came. It should tell us the tag. Tag is basically 15. Okay, so it will go here. It will say not 11, not 12, not 13, not 14. Tag is 15. So it will come in. I'm checking tag. Basically, I should not check tag. I should check operation. Tag is 15, but operation is not 15. Operation is what? Let's check what we have value for operation. I will do PO operation. Operation is 14, but tag is 15. Okay, so this is my bad, but good. You got to know like how we can debug and understand. So instead of checking tag, I should be checking operations. Okay, let's go back again and I'll disable the debug points because we know where we have addressed our mistake. Okay, let's click on 12 plus 15. Now my result should be 27. Perfect. Now we can do what we can do is, let me copy paste this and let's see what we wanted to do. If my previous operation 11, what we wanted to do, number on previous number divided by previous number multiply and previous number. Okay, so the order in this case and this case doesn't matter. You can write number on the screen first and previous number, but here it does matter, because if you say 2 divided by 2 or you say 6 divided by 2, here if you change this order, it will become 2 divided by 6, so you will get a different result. Okay, let's check if all our operations are working fine. And then what we wanted to do is, there is a lot of redundant code we have written. Okay, just for our understanding, so that we go raw and then we will try to see what we can move forward. Okay, so this code you can get it on the GitHub also. I will attach the link in my video where you can have this. So I'll say 12 divided by 4. If your math is good, you know the answer. Perfect. You will know the answer. Let me clear it. I wanted 2 multiply by 6. Well, I will clear it and I'll say 12 minus 2. The answer is 10. Okay. If I do 2 minus 2, my answer should be 0. 2. Okay, so this will work actually. What we are doing is we are doing basic mathematical operations. Okay, the big number we can give. It can do the calculation. But now what we wanted to do is, we should have restrictions. You have if you have a very big number, then it shows e to the power this thing and all that. What we will do, in the next thing, what I wanted you to do is, you will do the coloring part. I have shown you. That is the homework. Second part is implement this. So when I say, I will clear it. I will say 12 dot 2. Okay, right now it is not taking because there is some implementation. If you wanted to give plus minus for a number, so if you have a number on the screen 12 and you wanted to change it to a minus number, you click on this. If you wanted to calculate percentage, okay, nothing. You got an idea, correct? How you are saving the previous number, how you are performing the operations. Okay, this is what is the basic thing which we have written. So you wanted to do 12 plus 16. This is 12 is previous number. Okay, number on the screen is 16. Okay, if we are performing operation, we know we are performing this as an operation. Okay, and now operations are this. Operation is saving this, and tag value will let us know. Tag is something which will let us know what is pressed on the correct. This is basic summary of what we wanted to do, and you can change it with any operation. This will update. Okay, these are the minimum information you need. Is performing operation is a bool value. My bad, it should be true or false. Okay, let's see in the next lesson how we can actually iterate through it and make it more readable and remove the redundant code out of it. Okay, thank you very much.